And we are live. How are you, Alejandro?
I'm doing fantastic. I mean, I needed a little bit of a workout, so thank you for this uh, moving introduction.
Absolutely, absolutely.
That's a good way to elevate us. I mean, we are
Yes.
elevating us physically, mentally, intellectually, spiritually. I mean, from all
The whole.
different. That's right. I mean, we are elevating us and all of you, everyone, in a holistic way. So, very, very completely. And so here we are. Um,
Yes.
the captor connection is in full force. You know that we are working very diligently. I mean, toward our next second conference, and
Yes.
that is going to take place on April the 28th, the 29th, and the 30th. And so it's pretty much. I mean, it's coming pretty fast. Um,
Yes.
and um, and I mean, we have been highlighting some of the speakers, and
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we are so thrilled and we are so happy because the caliber of speakers is absolutely out of this world. I mean, people with a lot of experience in presenting, speaking, and with great knowledge. In the topics that they are going to be presenting. So this is not, I mean, this is not a conference where we are winging it. I mean, we are preparing it, and we are very diligent. And you see, I mean, the South African captor is agreeing with everything I said. So I mean that's a good sign. And so we are definitely in high gear towards the second conference. And Jay, today we are going to be not highlighting speakers. That is going to be the next time that we connect. But tonight
Yes.
we are going to be expanding a little bit on one of the topics. You know that the Capture Connection Conference consists of 3 days,
Mm-hmm.
um, 18 speakers, and
Yes.
six topics. Um,
Always.
and and today we are going to be talking a little bit more about one of those topics, and that is personal empowerment. Personal
Yes.
empowerment. So, to me, I mean, personal empowerment is very briefly is moving toward our very best version. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so
Yeah.
life is a succession of experiences, events, and
Yes.
I think that some people they miss the boat
Mm.
um, when it comes to what is the purpose of life? Why am I here? Okay, what am I supposed to be doing? And just in a very succinct kind of a explanation, I mean, in life, we do a lot of things. We are,
Mhm.
especially right now. I mean, we are living in a generation that is extremely busy. with
Yeah.
lots and lots of activities. But I think that one of the most important activities that we need to engage ourselves is in personal empowerment, is in personal growth, is in it's in improving ourselves on a daily basis, is empowering ourselves. And there are so many ways that we can empower ourselves. I mean, um, uh, reflecting, meditating, looking inside of us much more than looking outside of us. Because if we are going to empower ourselves, empowerment, in my opinion, is something that begins on the inside and radiates on the outside. It's not the other way. You are not going to be empowered by bringing something from the outside in. No, 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 no. Is strengthening what you have inside, and that
Yeah.
way you can share that with others on the outside. So this is what, to me, I mean, the beginnings of what personal empowerment is all about. So what about you, Jay? I mean, what are your views on personal empowerment?
Yeah, I'm very excited that it's one of our topics. It's really something that is evergreen in our lives. It's something that has to develop. It's something that has to be present. I think of the stages that we go through in life, not only personally but even academically. And in our businesses. And to me, personal empowerment is anything that I expose myself to. If it's a place, a person, or a thing, it's part of my development. And it's very important that when we look at our lives, that we see what fits into our framework. Simple things like just going into nature, it's personal empowerment because that brings your energy into a higher vibration. It really lifts your spirit. It speaks to you on such a deep soul level. That's all a part of empowering yourself. When I go out hiking, for instance, I make it a point to go to nature because that is my place of personal empowerment for my week. So I go and I sit on my rock and I do my journaling, or I stand on my rock and I do power poses, or I sit and I meditate, or I even take a nap in the sun. And all of those things really culminate into personal empowerment. But then again, just as calm and collected as I can be on my hike or my mountain, on the other hand, I can go to the dojo and personally empower myself and learn how to defend myself. But not only that, I exercise so I keep my body healthy. If I go and I do a public speaking event and I build relationship, or I network, or I connect, I'm personally empowering myself. There's so many ways, and we need to be conscientious of the ways that we choose to empower ourselves personally. Because it's true what you said, when we personally empower ourselves, it comes from within. That means we
Yeah.
have these desires, that we have these visions, these goals. What do I want for myself personally? And that really spreads out to every other area. And I love the fact that all the topics that we chose are really integrated. Personal empowerment is so important even when you are busy with business and personal discipline, even when you are thinking about your health and your fitness, even when you are scaling your business. You have to be personally empowered in order to make a difference out there. Because if you don't find that power within yourself, who are you going to lead? If you don't have that confidence in yourself, how will you be able to roll out or make a rollout schedule or a program or put a digital course together or build a team or even write that book that you want to write? So to me, it's really it's something that we have to look at. And I've read so many articles in my life on personal empowerment, and every single time I go and look for more resources, there's always a new and unique viewpoint on this very topic. So I can't wait to hear the presentations of our wonderful speakers. It's going to be amazing.
Oh, of course, definitely. And as I was listening to you, I think that connecting ourselves with our source,
Mm,
it's a wonderful way of um, uh, being personally empowered. Now, whether you call him God or the infinite intelligence or divine source, whatever it is, but is connecting to that divine source, from whom everything everything just emanates. Okay, is
yeah.
that the source, and everything emanates. And when we are connected to that via what you said, via going on a hike in nature, whether it is just standing in nature and journaling and thinking and reflecting and doing all kinds of things, that we receive empowerment from that. But at the same time, we also receive empowerment by intentionally doing things that would give us a power, that would give us a sense of um, not a sense of entitlement, but a sense of independent power. Okay, and it could be a reading. I mean, are you a reader? Are you feeding your mind? Are you feeding your senses? Are you feeding your soul, your spirit, your emotions, your heart with great content? Um, Not just magazines, but content that is going to challenge your thinking. Because the
Mm,
only way that we are going to grow, the only way that we are going to be empowered, is
yeah.
not by reading the comics all the time. I mean, I don't have anything against comics, okay? I mean, if you like Superman, you can read Superman. If you like Spider-Man, you can read that. But just read other things that are going to really make a transformation in your life. Those are the things that are going to empower you. Are you going to conferences? Are you going to seminars? Are you going to workshops? Are you part of mastermind groups with other leaders, with other great thinkers, other business people, other entrepreneurs? Um, are you networking with them? Are you connecting with them? Are you having conversations with them? Because all of this is part of that personal empowerment. But in order
Mm,
to do that, as as John Maxwell says in the first law of the 15 laws of growth, of personal growth, is the law of intentionality. And that is very simple. Things don't happen just because. No, you have to be intentional in doing those things. If you're not intentional, let me just illustrate that. If you were not intentional and say, I am going to go to meticulousmoments.com, I'm going to go to the page where the captor connection is, and I'm going to look for that link to register for this upcoming conference. If you don't do that intentionally, then the page is not going to suddenly or magically come to you. You have to go and intentionally get there and register. That's what I'm saying. Personal empowerment is intentionality, and
mm,
intentionality comes from you. So if you want to empower yourself, then one of the ways is register for this conference, because we are going to, well, the whole experience is going
Yes.
to empower you. I promise you, I guarantee you. Why? Because we did that during the first conference that we did last year. And we know that
Mhm.
we are going to do the same and even more. We are excelling on this conference. Okay?
Yes.
And so that's one of the ways that you can empower yourself. Begin by registering on this conference. And that is the first step to your personal empowerment.
Yeah, absolutely. I was thinking about a few points while you were speaking. Other examples as well of personal empowerment is setting boundaries for yourself. I was a pastor. I was an ordained pastor for 15 years, and I had no personal boundaries. And I had to learn and empower myself to set boundaries so that when the time came that I had to counsel people with that same issue or speak to people who were, in a scenario, that I would be able to give from myself, from my own experience and from my own challenges. And I was also thinking about something else. I personally empower myself with music. If I'm going to go into a fight, or I'm going to go to the dojo and I'm going to be sparring or doing MMA, or even if I go to the nationals, there's certain music that I listen to that personally empowers me.
Yeah,
Sometimes I'm sparring with someone and I'm singing What a Friend I Have in Jesus, but I'm fighting someone because that beat is in my mind. Sometimes I listen to the Hall of Fame. Sometimes I listen to other hardcore music, but that music empowers me for the task at hand. I
yeah,
used to, when I would go to the pulpit on a Sunday, I would start my Sunday morning very early and I'd listen to uplifting gospel music songs because that personally empowered me and energized me and connected me with Source, with God, and I would take that energy to the pulpit. So personal empowerment is really so diverse. I mean, we can talk about it for so long because there's so many
yeah,
intricate ways that you can personally empower yourself. Because you
yeah,
mentioned mentally, empowering yourself. You mentioned emotionally, you mentioned physically. There's so many, and we are emotional beings. And
yeah,
one thing that really struck me about the Captor Connection one was the fact that everybody just loved on each other. And there was this emotional connection, but it was also an intellectual connection. It was also a networking connection. That was a personal empowerment example of note because
yeah,
we were able to put that together by God's grace and with the wonderful people that attended. And we all were personally empowered. It wasn't just us
yeah,
as the MCs or just the speakers, it was the audience as well. I mean, how
yeah,
wonderful to see everything come together and all just
sure.
be intertwined and the relationships that were built from there. Building
Yeah,
relationship is personal empowerment because you know
that's
who
right.
you can trust, who you can rely on, and you really dig deep within yourself to become a better version of yourself. And I think that's really key for personal empowerment, really to become the best version of you, as you've mentioned earlier today.
Oh, sure. Oh, definitely. That's definitely what it is. And I was going to mention, yes, that um, uh, developing relationships,
Yeah.
good relationships, is um, personal empowerment. I mean,
Yeah.
because once you have someone who you can be accountable to,
Yes.
um, that accountability helps you to become personally empowered. I mean, I mean that person empowers you by holding you accountable for things,
Yeah.
and so. I mean, we are not, we don't get empowered, and we don't grow in an environment of easiness. We
Mm.
grow when we get empowered in an environment that that pushes us, that
Mm.
stretches us,
Yeah.
that makes us think, really
Yeah.
think deeply,
Mm.
and that's what we that's our desire for this conference and every
Yes.
other conference that we are going to be doing in the future. It's always maintaining that primary purpose of empowering people, empowering people. Um, the world that we're living in, and I'm sure that you agree, Jay, desperately needs um,
Mm.
people who can empower others, because um, there's so much confusion all around. There's so
Yeah.
much doubt. There's so
Mm.
much hopelessness. And
Mm.
the Captor Connection Conference, it's a platform, um, not only to elevate you, and this is what we are doing, elevating you, but we are giving people hope. I mean,
Mm.
people who perhaps lost a little bit of hope, we are
Mm.
going to re-energize and revitalize that hope, so you
Yeah.
can keep moving forward with the strength that you need. So we're going
Mm.
to give you hope. We're going to give you strength. We are giving you connection,
Mm.
connectivity, and
Yeah.
all of those things are elements of
Mm.
personal empowerment.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. You mentioned registering for the conference. I just want to say that, the registration link is on www.meticulousmoments.com, and you click on the more button, and then you click on the Captor page, and you will be able to register for $97. 3 days, six topics, 18 speakers. I mean, that is a wonderful, wonderful combination. And also, as we close this session out, any final words from you? I just want to put some focus on, when we end, on our Capture Connection Conference 1 edits that are almost completed and for purchase soon.
Sure. I mean, the thing is that I cannot be happier. I mean, to be working with people such as Jay, and the lined up of speakers. I mean, that are going to be part of the second conference, um,
Yeah.
is just is just something that um, we we are building in essence. I think that when we dig a little bit deeper, we
Yeah.
are building a legacy. The Captor Connection is, we are building every single day, because of the work that we do, and what we are putting out there in the world. We are building a legacy, and we want all of you to be part, active participants of that legacy. So don't wait, go register now, and just grab a seat, and be ready, because we are going to be riding not the small waves, the giant is going to be this is going to
Yes.
be this is going to be the the best tsunami that it could be. This is a tsunami, but a tsunami that is not going to be destructive. This is the first time that we are generating a tsunami that is a constructive tsunami. It's a tsunami
Okay.
of ideas. It's a tsunami of ideas and
Yeah.
connection. That's what it is.
Mm. It's always wonderful to connect with you, Alejandro. I agree. KAPPTOR Connection definitely has a mission and a vision, but we also have a calling to do, what we are doing, and it's really personally empowering everyone that's involved, and it's an honor. It's an honor to be able to use these platforms and to do these things and to really build community. So our heart's always been community, and I'm looking forward to our conference. The best part of the conference is meeting everyone, networking, learning, growing, as I always say. And the worst part is always for me to end the conference because those 3 days just really fly by.
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
for sure.
yeah. Absolutely. So our first conference edits are almost done. It's being professionally edited, and that package for the 3 days for the first conference, also 18 speakers, almost 24 hours worth of content. That's a lot of content. Is
Yeah.
available soon, and that will be for $197. So we will be sharing that information the moment that they are uploaded, all the sessions. And we just want to say, have a wonderful weekend, everyone, and we'll see you next week again. Thank you,
Yes.
Alejandro.
Thank you. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, everyone. We'll connect with you real soon. Bye bye.
Bye.